I feel like Milwaukee and Toronto, it's the same team. I got a dude, and both Kawhi and Giannis, frankly, look a little tired because you have to rely on Kawhi. First of all, let's start with that premise. I think they're the same team.
I agree. I think they're evenly matched. It could go either way. Like if these guys was to play each other 10 times, it'd probably be 5-5.
By the way, last time you were on this show, I thought the series was over. You told me, you said Toronto was going to even it up.
Yeah. I mean, because at the end of the day, I felt like game one, Toronto felt like they should have won that game. So I think they have a lot of confidence, and Toronto have a lot of experience. But I agree with you. I think these teams are evenly matched. And Kawhi and Giannis both look fatigued, but they're guarding each other. And it's a lot of battling down low. And I think this going to come down to this series comes down to the others. I mean, like on the road, Marc Gasol was horrible. And then at home, he was great. Kyle Lowry, you don't know if you're going to get 2 points or 30 points. Eric Bledsoe, I mean.
What happened?
He's been a no-show basically these whole playoffs. I mean, George Hill has been
better.
Yes, the best point guard on Milwaukee team. And then you get Chris Middleton, who just went off last night, but they still lost. And then, like, Siakam struggled. So I think they evenly matched, but it's going to come down to the others. And, the series don't start basically until one team wins on the road.
I want to talk about this time in the NBA because I think it's very clear that, look, just take the Warriors.
Right.
Iggy's hurt, Boogie and KD are out, and Steph's not 100%. Let's take the Raptors. Kawhi Leonard shot. He looks exhausted. Giannis now can't hit a free throw. So he's got some mental or physical fatigue.
Right.
So you look around all these teams. Houston looked tired.
Right.
Harden looked tired from having to chase Steph around. So Damian Lillard, by the way, got hurt. So when you get to the end of an NBA season, we always think it's coaching and we think it's schematics. Is it? What is it?
No, it comes down to heart and will and who wanted the most. I mean, you could watch all the film you want, you could scout guys, but at the end of the day, you know everyone's tendencies. So it comes down to who's going to do the little things and who's going to grind it out. It comes down to who wanted the most because you get deep into the playoffs, and I think that's what Golden State hold the edge over everybody. They've been here before. So at the end of the day, they know how to train them bodies. They know what proper rest to get. They've been here before. You seen Dame Lillard. It seemed like he was just so fatigued. And you watching Giannis right now, he's fatigued because he never been this deep in the playoffs.
Okay, so you played with that old Boston team.
Right.
Okay, KG was old. Ray Allen, Paul Pierce. So take me to that old Celtic team. Did Doc – I always heard stories that when Doc would take those Celtics on the road, he wouldn't practice, but he didn't want to miss practice in Boston.
Right.
Because then everybody could see it. And that I always heard Doc Rivers took care of the old guys on that team.
He took care of everybody. So the thing with Doc was that he rather you give it to him in the game than at practice. And we never really practiced. Even our practice no, seriously. Even our practice days were like just coming in, getting shots and weightlifting. Guys who wasn't playing, then they'll have to go out and maybe play 3-on-3. But guys who were playing heavy minutes, it was our practice days were weights, treatments, and shots. And Doc knew this, and he was preparing us for the marathon and not the sprint. And I think that's what Doc,
that's what they're doing in Golden State.
Absolutely. And you got to give, and to me, Steve Kerr don't get enough credit. His coaching staff don't get enough credit because, with Iggy out, Cousins out, and KD out last game, he did a great job of putting guys on the floor together, and his rotations were on point. And Looney stepped up big, McKinley stepped up big, Cook gave him some valuable minutes, even Jerebko. So at the end of the day, I think Steve Kerr don't get enough credit. Yeah, obviously, you have Steph, you have Draymond, you have Clay.
They should be the most exhausted team, Perk.
Absolutely.
Golden State should be shot, and they look fresh.
Right, because they've been here before, so they know what it takes. You heard what Draymond Green said. We heard what Draymond Green said. He lost 25 pounds. He lost 25 pounds towards the end of the season. Why? Because he knew he needed to lose that weight to be able to sustain and be able to play at a high level through these whole playoffs.
I want you to go back to your career. You said something interesting. You talked about its guts and its will. Were you ever in a playoff series, and you were in a lot of them, that you knew everybody on the floor was shot?
Yes, I remember. I mean, it was, and I was hurt. That's the sad part about it. It was Game 7, NBA Finals, Celtics versus Lakers, and I mean, everyone was tired.
You could see it.
Yeah, you could see it. I mean, you traveling from, the 6-hour plane ride back and forth, time change and everything. So on both sides, I think like that game, everybody shot horrible except for Ron.
I remember
Artest.
that.
Yeah, except for Ron Artest. So it came down to will. Like, at the end of the day, I always say, guys look at Ron Artest and that game and he had 20 and 10 or whatever, but people don't understand. Kobe had like 18 rebounds. Like, and I think like 6 of them was offensive. Like, that's will. Like, that's not, and he was 6 for 24 shooting.
He had a terrible game 7.
Exactly. But he did other things. And it comes down to that tests your heart, your conditioning, and who wanted the most, like I said before.
So LeBron and KD were showing pictures for our radio audience of Kendrick with his arm around KD and next to LeBron James. And you were always one of those veterans. You were a tough guy. Players respected you. Stars respected you. Stars would ask you questions. They listened to you. So I'm hearing all this stuff about KD, and my takeaway is, listen, man, you keep telling me he's going to the Knicks, Brooklyn, Lakers, Clippers. They all got issues. They either got a weak roster, an owner I don't trust, not much of a history I can rely on.
Right.
Like, I mean, take me inside of KD. Do you think he's got it all figured out?
Right now, I think KD just living in the moment. I don't know. I don't think KD know what he want to do. But on the flip side of it, if I'm KD, I think I would really consider going to the Clippers.
How come?
I think because the Clippers with the new ownership, I love what he's doing. The front office with Lawrence Frank and
Michael Winger
doing a great job. Doc did a hell of a job this year with this group of guys.
May have been his best coaching job.
Yes. By the way, he told me that was his second favorite team to the 2008 Celtics. I mean, because guys bought in. He said he didn't want the season to end. It was so fun. And to me, you look at the Clipper organization, even adding Jerry West, the legend, I mean, you look at them and it's like
smart.
They stability, man. And it's like, this is a franchise. And you can see Kevin Durant going there. It's in L.A., he could flourish and be himself, and it would be his team. And I would love to see KD play for a coach like Doc Rivers, assistant coaches and Rex and Sam Cassell and, Omar Hill, great group of guys. And the way Doc draws up plays and his play calling, I could just imagine the plays he would draw for Kevin Durant.
By the way, listen, Magic's a legend. Lights up a room. But Magic, even Magic, like the nicest guy in the world, kind of turned and pivoted on the Lakers this week. If I'm LeBron and I'm watching that, I'm thinking, that was my one guy I know I could invite into a room with me and we could sell.
Right.
Like, if you were LeBron this morning, are you a little frightened about the next 2 years of this contract before you have an option?
I don't know if I'm frightened. I'm more so confused. But because for the simple fact is like, okay, what's really going on? And then everybody have this thing of saying, oh, Braun runs the organization. Well, I tell you what, if things go wrong this year, you can't point the finger at LeBron. I tell you that. But I actually talked to LeBron yesterday, and he's in good spirits. He's working out, and like he said, he only could control what he could control. And he
was in a good mood.
He wasn't in a bad mood, you know what I mean? So it wasn't like he was just depressed. But at the end of the day, I was with Magic on how he handled the situation, honestly. I thought he addressed the problem. He took a lot of heat over the last couple of weeks about it, and he came out and he had to protect himself and he had to protect his brand. Nobody from the Lakers did.
No, that's fair. That was kind of our takeaway. Joey and I are like, listen, people were calling you a fool for 3 weeks. You literally have $1 billion brand.
Right.
You got to protect your brand.
Absolutely. And Magic is a great guy. Everybody loves Magic. I love Magic. I mean, you have to love Magic because he's a guy that is willing to help others be successful. If you ever meet him, he's not a guy who want to hold everything to himself. No, if he have something, a business idea, you can go ask him, and he'll drop the knowledge to you. So at the end of the day, like I said, in the organization, the problem I have with some NBA organizations is that they hire their friends.
Oh yeah,
and not
competent people,
right? And not the right people for the job.
Hi everybody, thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.